let's start the meeting.
Yeah, let's do.
Is there any agenda additions or deletions?
Well, we're going to talk about the adoption process of the town plan.
Yep. Make a motion to,
I move that we put it under new business, I guess.
I'll second.
all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, any other agenda addition or deletions?
I wanted to talk about something, but I can talk about it in new business if you'd rather.
Yeah, or,
She can talk in public comments.
yeah, public comments.
Public comments, yeah.
There you go.
All right, I would ask for there's no other agenda additions and, approval of the minutes for,
So moved.
Mr. Chairman, before we dive into this meeting, I'm going to step into Mr. Bixby's shoes for a second, and we could just honor our veterans with a moment
Certainly.
of silence before we get going.
Absolutely.
As it is Veterans Day this week.
all right. As a veteran myself, I appreciate that. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
Carry on, soldier. All right. Once again, I'd ask for a motion to accept the minutes of the 28th.
So moved.
And seconded?
I second it.
Right, okay. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? I'm doing this over again so that it's official.
Robert, I'm sorry, you weren't at that meeting.
No, you
Okay.
weren't. I'll second it.
Thank you.
All right.
Sorry.
See why I did that?
There you go.
All right. Highway.
We have none. There's no highways out there.
Yeah. Cash isn't here tonight. There was a family issue and he had to be at that. Ashley, do you have anything? Did he contact you at all?
No.
When he, all right, so.
It was an unexpected thing.
Yes,
so.
it was. Approval of, select board warrants, they're right here.
I think I've signed everything as far as I know.
Yeah, I think you guys have had them. Is there another pen in here?
Guest. Do you want to do that now, and under? Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, go ahead.
So, I wanted to talk about, political signs. So, according, I know it's a hot topic, according to,
Can we just ban them like all billboards?
well, what's that? I just want to talk about the signs that have been up for the election we just had and are being taken down by law. So it is a state law in Vermont for the Department of, it's from the Secretary of State, Transportation, Agency of Transportations, that all the signs have to be located within so many feet. They should be removed immediately after the election. They cannot be attached to trees. They can't interfere with traffic and so on and so on. The two that I'm looking at in particular are the ones that they need to be removed right after the election and they can't be attached to trees. Okay, so there is a sign on Airport Road that is still up and it is attached to a tree. It is clearly a political sign. I know some people think that a sign and a flag are two different things, but they're not. They're both, if they are making political statements, they're political signs. So, we also have, in our zoning plan for the town of Clarendon, that you are allowed to have signs, on your property if they fall into the categories of, oh God, they have to be, either like a real estate sign or a business sign, or they have to be a sign that's necessary for public welfare or deemed in the public interest. Okay, those are the signs that you're allowed to have on your property for our zoning laws here in Clarendon. So I know I'm a complete advocate of freedom of speech. I get that. I'm totally aware of that. And the sign that I'm talking about has been on the airport road, and it's past the election, so it's really violating the state transportation laws. And I really don't think it's promoting general welfare for our town or any decent public interest. And that little girl was supposed to be here, is not here. But I'm glad, because it says, fuck your feelings. And I really feel like that is not necessary for public welfare in our town. And I know people have come to the town, have complained about it before, and nothing's been done. And I'm just making myself very clear that I'm offended by it. I don't care who won the election's over. I don't care about that. I know we had a big fight a couple years ago, Black Lives Matters flag that flew over the school, and that was taken down because people objected to it. And I don't even think that's near as offensive as this flag is. I talked to people who work at our school who are guidance counselors, and they inform me that they have multiple curriculum at our school. It's run by our health teacher, and it deals with feelings. We have a social emotional curriculum at all grade levels, and they also deal with feelings and the right to feel the way you do. So I'm just bringing it to our attention, and if I had to, I will, because I know it's been done in the past, to have a resolution that the board would agree to if I had enough signatures that said that we would ask that this flag be taken down. Flag/political sign.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture? Because what I saw,
I do.
I couldn't make out very well.
I do have a picture.
So can we speak to it for a second? Because not all your facts are 100% accurate, Jan.
Okay.
We did look into it, and
gonna
we
say,
did. This did come up last go around.
Okay.
And actually, a select board member actually paid a visit to the family.
Yep.
And we looked into it, and it was at that time that we were advised. I think it was VLCT. I don't remember for sure, but it was legal advice that the only recourse potentially is to approach the state. That the town has no recourse.
Is that because it's on a state highway?
No, that's because it's on the owner's property.
It was.
I know that, but
Because
the thing
it's a state law. It's not a town law. It's
There's
a
not.
state
It's
thing.
a state. What you referenced
We're
is state
not
transportation law. It's not town.
So what does that mean? If it's a state law?
In other words, what we had to advise folks that came last time was the only recourse is to go to the state level. We don't have recourse we can take.
When you guys were there, did
Thank
you
you.
ever measure the distance of it from the center of the road?
I'm not sure what exactly got done. All I remember is, like I say, this was about, well,
When the other two,
it would have been probably 4 years, over 4 years ago now. But
Right.
we dealt with the issue.
But the election's over now.
It was then too.
It was then too.
Yeah.
It just ended a couple days ago.
Correct.
This was a
It
different
was.
flag.
It was then too.
Oh,
But it was the same sentiment.
Oh,
The
okay,
wording was different. The same word was in the last one.
right.
it was determined that it wasn't political, it's a person's opinion.
Who determined that?
That was
VLCT.
I'm pretty sure we approached our lawyers at VLCT at that
Right.
time.
That's
Vermont Leagues of Cities and Towns.
Vermont.
League of Cities and Towns. There, you can just Google it and it'll pop right up.
So again, the only recourse for citizens is at the state level. There's
Who does she go to at the state level?
based
Cities
on
and
the
towns.
fact that she's referring to Department of Transportation, you probably have to start at the Department of Transportation.
If it's within 24.75 feet of the middle of the road, it is illegal. I don't know. I I just drove by it tonight to make sure it was still there before I come over here, but it's there. I don't know, I haven't measured it. I don't,
But it's not within the town right of way or the state right of way. That flag is up on a tree,
exactly.
which is above 14 feet, I think.
Yep.
I don't remember exactly the dance we did here, but he had two flags there doing the same thing.
Right.
And we didn't have any authority. When the leagues got back to us, and we have the answer here somewhere in our records,
Yeah, she was telling me, yeah.
that league said that you can bring this to the state if you want to, but the state is going to probably tell you the same thing. If it's not impeding any traffic, if it's not in your right of way or the road right of way, whoever owns it, then it's a person's personal opinion. The case I tried to make with the individual's wife and their son who went to Mill River at the time, they said it's their right, freedom of speech. And so after I left there, we tried to investigate a little bit more, and leagues advised us it's freedom of speech thing. Even though it's obscene language. I think that's the term they
Yeah, there are places in the United States where it would be illegal. Because it is considered obscene. Right. I mean,
You can go to Bridgewater. There's a guy in Bridgewater didn't like his assessment, and he drew a hand with one finger sticking up. We can guess which one
right.
on the side of his garage. I mean, it's huge, and it's visible everywhere.
And they weren't saying you were number one.
Well, and actually, the town of Brandon's dealt with the same thing too. That house down over
I
the
know that
hill
house.
as
Yeah,
you go
yeah, yeah.
into,
Yep.
similar language.
Yep.
And unfortunately, like I say, they all fall same category. So again, I just wanted to correct the fact that the town has same property attempted, and it was, attempted also to be dealt with in a neighborly way, and the response simply was freedom of speech, and
Yeah.
the legal opinion that was given to us at the time, depending on your opinion, coincided with that.
When I stopped at the town hall today, someone else also that requested that we didn't mention their name also raised that same thing, and I came down to the town hall here today, and I asked Ashley to contact somebody from leagues or the state. I don't know, did anybody ever get back to you? So we're gonna, we'll,
So somebody else complained about it.
yeah.
I mean, we have kids on a school bus that go by there. There's
Yeah.
kids that live right next door to
Well,
there.
see, that was my argument
Right.
when I went over there.
And last time,
they-
I would say we had at least 3 complaints last time.
Yeah.
This is not a new issue.
I can also say that if you go to the high school, you're going to hear that word 1,000 times
I
a
know.
day.
I
Not that I
understand that.
condone the use of it, because I don't use it, but
But there's a
It's-
sign right up the
it's
street
everywhere.
here that's kind of tucked in the woods now. It's overgrown, but when Biden was
It's the
running,
same. Yeah, it's the
it's
same.
it's the
No.
Right. I guess,
same verbiage.
I've noticed all the political signs are gone. Most of them are. I mean, I was driving through Rutland saying that you don't see anymore. So it's like, okay, let's get over it.
Well, most people that are interested in running for the office are courteous enough generally to go and take care of them, but
Right. Well,
it's an unfortunate
hear that again.
situation that, what I'm just here thinking about, I wonder if you could take it, some kind of a suit to small claims court or something for what you were concerned about is you're insulted or offended, whatever.
But see,
Maybe.
that is why I stopped there the last time, and the husband wasn't there, but the young lad that went to,
I know who he is.
yeah, but you should have heard the mouth on him.
I know.
He told his mother, "Don't say anything. I'll do the talking," and
I know who he is.
and I couldn't believe it.
I know everybody in that
And I
support.
said, well, that's your freedom of speech. But I respect other people who live here who have to drive by here with kids and stuff in the car.
Unfortunately, he'll find out that people do judge you by the language you use,
Yeah.
and eventually it'll catch up to him.
Eventually. You're right. I know. I guess I didn't realize that it had been brought to such a big head a couple years ago. I wouldn't have wasted your time on it. Sorry.
Well, you're
okay.
certainly,
No, that's
please.
that's what we're
Well, I
partially
feel
what
like
we're here for.
I feel like I'm comfortable enough to make my thoughts known.
Well, you should.
Absolutely.
Because I have kids, and there's lots of little kids in my neighborhood, and
There are.
if they say to me, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "What am I supposed to do?"
You say, go see your mother.
I think
I had cows that were, doing their thing, and it's like, I had neighbors' kids come over, what's going on? Go ask your mother.
And there
I'm
are
not getting
a
involved.
multitude of
say
other words
the
I
fight-
could have used.
Well, every once in a while, you find a little kid that has trouble pronouncing truck.
Yeah.
You've ever noticed that, but I have a couple of times.
But, I just wanna see if there's any updates from the state on
Yeah.
things like this.
I will do
They
that.
were in a webinar today, so
Yeah.
they
So
will
we're gonna keep.
They'll get back to you.
asking,
back tomorrow.
All right?
Okay. Yes. I guess I'm just going back to my idea of the resolution. That really won't do anything because we can't say in a resolution that you can't do this or you can't do that. We could just say in a resolution, which I know now is non-binding, that we would, the town of Clarendon respects all political signs in good taste or something like
Yeah, you
that.
can do that, but
We could do that.
yes.
Would you be willing to sign such a resolution?
But once
Well, we've
you-
also signed a resolution that says that we're inclusive
That's right.
of people who don't agree with our political or our
I'm not
morals.
talking about politics, I'm
Our
talking about
morals.
being nice. Yeah,
But if we're inclusive of people who don't want to be nice.
right. Yes, we are.
Unfortunately, we have to be inclusive.
Over the years, I've had many discussions with high school kids in terms of the thing that they're always complaining about. Well, the teachers say we have to give them respect and it's not earned and all that. And I said, you don't necessarily have to show a lot of respect, but you have to be polite.
Right.
I mean, and I don't get it myself.
Unfortunately, there are bad people in this world.
There is, unfortunately, but
That's all right.
anyways, I encourage you never to hesitate about bringing up something of that nature, because I want to hear about it. As maybe, I had a discussion with one other board member this morning on this very topic, and I said, we need to have it an open meeting and talk about it. And that person agreed with me, so
Here we are.
there we are.
Yeah.
I
All
think,
right, Jan, thank you.
and hopefully if people are watching this broadcast, including the people with the sign, maybe they'll get the message that it would be appreciated if they took it down, but probably not.
I don't get a better chance of seeing Jesus walk on water. No comment. Again. All right, any other public comments? All right, new business. 2025 Select Board meeting schedule approved.
So I was reviewing the schedule just as
Yeah, I was wondering about August.
offering feedback. August 11th is the day before the fair, so there's no way I will be here. And then the other one is our parent-teacher conferences, which again don't schedule around me,
Yeah.
but our parent-teacher conferences will fall on November 10th next year. So this week was fortunate. We had parent-teacher conferences yesterday and Monday, so we were done and able to be here tonight. But just making the board aware that if you keep those dates, that it's just a given that those two I will not be able to be here.
I would like to talk about August 11th. It seems to me this current year that 3 board members were affected by that particular date.
I think at least 2 were, and I think in the end, for lack of agenda items, we actually canceled it.
That's what I'm getting
And we
at.
just didn't have it. So I've made this case before, August is a pretty light month that I personally wonder about just scheduling one August meeting and just going that way, but that's up to the board.
Well, no, my suggestion would be, for consideration, when we come down closer, in this case, in October, at the end of September or something, let's see what the agendas are looking like and stuff, if there's a lot of agenda stuff going on. then
November is the one that I was going to suggest. Maybe you go to the Wednesday just because of the sheer fact that usually we're in budget time, that we've started budget at that point. But August is the one that if you want to just leave it scheduled for now, and then like this year, and I think actually it's been 2 years now that we've gotten close to the date and we've determined that it's a pretty slow time of year at the end of summer and we haven't needed a meeting, that we've been in good shape.
But we can always, when we get close to that.
Yep,
you know,
that's
make
fine
it-
with me too.
And November 10th, of course, that's the Marine Corps birthday,
Yeah.
you know.
I would like to suggest that we put the notion of one meeting in August on the agenda after people have some time to cogitate on it. My notion is that publishing this list is good, and if folks get into the habit of depending on it, then I hate canceling meetings unless, it's a real
So-
necessity.
So if your suggestion, George, I would go along with that suggestion. If you want to just schedule August 25th right now and take the 11th off, and then my suggestion would have been to put November 10th to November 12th. And then we can, people can, as you used a great vocab word, cogitate on it until next meeting.
I have no idea what the hell.
And we could finalize it next meeting if everybody's
Yes,
good at that.
let's go with that, because some deliberation and,
Do you want to wait till
individually.
next meeting, or would you just make a motion on those right now?
I'm good. I mean, Cash isn't here. Let's let him get input too. So if we want to make that suggestion and publish a new list and then finalize it next
Yep.
meeting, we've got plenty of time before January
Yep,
to do it.
I think we should.
Does that sound good to you, Art?
Sounds good to me.
All right, then I'll go along with the troops.
Are you?
I don't know if we necessarily need a motion, let's just do it.
Yeah.
I got no problem with the changes. Like I said, I ain't gonna be here.
So, if Cash is here next meeting and the rest of us are here, let's reschedule this.
Let's finalize this, yes.
Okay.
So I have a question on these meetings. So one of these meetings got canceled. Is there any way we can update the website when they do get canceled? Because the town transfer station, I don't go to and look at that bulletin board. And I'm not down here because I live on the other side of town. So just asking that, or even social media, just updating it.
It is usually on the website.
Yeah.
When you're saying update, you mean when we put something on the website, is it a notice, or do we actually go to the document?
Where the meeting.
I'm not sure what she.
Yeah, that would be,
Goes
I'm
on
not
the
sure.
front page, there's a section on there. If she knows ahead of time that the meeting's gonna be canceled.
Yeah, she puts it on.
So it's on the
Put it on
front
there.
page. See, I probably
Yeah.
don't go to the front page. I
Go to
the agenda.
go to the archives.
Yes. So.
Which is my question is, do you go to look at this, or,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, in the interest of time, I would make a motion for our next item that we appoint Matthew Jacobowski and Craig Knapp as our Regional Emergency Management Committee for the town of Clarendon, and that you sign that on behalf of the board.
Second,
Matt's okay with it, and
George
Craig is
beat
okay
you,
with it?
or
Did
George
you say
beat you
yes
for a
on
second.
Saturday?
I'm quick.
Yeah.
As long as they go for it, I'm.
All those in favor of the
Craig is
motion, please
definite.
say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? I better sign this beauty. Okay, let's go right down to the next one, Bottle Drive.
Next one's Ashley anyway.
Okay.
Just super fast. I am just talking super fast, trying to get approval for the 6th grade class of Clarendon to have a bottle drive and possibly a bake sale at the transfer station to raise money for their class. End of year.
On a Saturday, I presume?
Yeah, or multiple Saturdays.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I can get better dates when it gets a little bit warmer, possibly, but I did talk to the guys at the transfer station, and they did, have an area that they wouldn't mind having the bottles go to, and then we'd have parents of the 6th grade class go and pick them up.
I don't have a problem with that. They used to do it with the boys club. The Boy Scouts used to pick it up,
Yep.
so
I have no problem with
I
it.
got no problem. The bake sale, well, it's kind of,
Yeah, down at the dump.
yeah, it's not a good place.
Well, it'd be more like a coffee donut kind of thing, probably on a Saturday morning.
I don't really care.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Sounds
Just
good.
keep it out of the garbage.
Away from the flies.
And,
Yeah.
yeah. And when something like this happens, you give it a week's notice?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, old business, heating bids.
So can I talk about this really fast before you guys even kind of dive into it?
Sure.
We do have, you guys have two different bids. However, they are for two different, like one's propane, one's replacing exactly what we have. Two folks, one being the ones that you have there from Master, did suggest not changing our furnace, so that there's really not anything wrong with it. The maintenance that has been done is our yearly maintenance. And we did hear that from another plumber as well. And that to hold off until we actually have to take the fuel tank out of the ground. And that is on that bid that he has there, that he did.
To remove the fuel tank.
To wait until it's time to remove till Vermont
Okay.
is saying to remove the fuel tank. However, we do have Thom Burden here from Lime Green Heat to discuss
Well,
another
great.
heating option. So we have three different heating options, really.
All right. So you want to spend a lot of money or no? That's the first question that we want to ask. So we do pellet boiler systems, furnaces, heating systems. I came and looked at the system last week, and we have put some numbers together. There's just not a lot of space there, and that's one thing that we would require. And so in order to kind of put it together, we talked about putting a building, maybe a shed-type building dormer on the back of this gable end, so that we had a location to put pellets, storage, and boilers, and then a new air handler in the basement. So the existing air handler would leave and a new air handler would go in, and then you would be basically running from pellets full-time. The option to that is, although you've got mini splits, you could put heat pumps on it, so you could run it as a heat pump as well. That's, these options are $50,000 to $70,000 from our standpoint. The state will kick in $6,000, which is something from Efficiency Vermont, and I just didn't want to go too far, unless you feel like that's something you want to continue to look at, in which case we would do a more in-depth study. I didn't know if this had to be done right away or not. Doesn't sound like it does. Sounds like some people have said you can continue to run what you have, which would be great, so.
Thomas, the federal still there that we got?
Yeah, if there was any federal money available, then yes, you have federal funding available.
Because I know we got 25 for ours.
You did, and I think that you would get something less than that, obviously, here, just based on dollar equivalency, but yes, there would be some more money, but, and the real honest answer is, we just didn't have enough time to do enough research. I had a week, and, so I got 500 questions I got to answer before I can get an answer.
Just two questions,
Yeah.
more questions.
Yeah, no, sure.
Are we looking for a building this size at 2? What are you thinking?
I'm sorry.
2 boilers? What are you thinking?
So the options were that, I would replace the existing furnace with a furnace that is from Main Energy Systems, right? Same equipment. They make a furnace, but only puts out 96,000 BTU, and we are concerned that that would not be enough to heat this building on the coldest days of the year. So that is an inexpensive option. You'll come out probably around 30,000, maybe 35 or 25,000, somewhere in there, with just a furnace, but still having to put something on the back. Ideally, I would put in 2 boilers with the new air handling and eliminate it, because eventually the air ducts and things would have to be replaced. It'd be a whole lot easier to put in heating, so that this room was a zone, that room was a zone, and if something ever happens upstairs, it could be spread. When it's air, it's one system, which is what you have now. And of course, one of the issues that we talked about was one side of the building gets much warmer than the other side. Where's the thermostat? How can we zone that? That's all very difficult to do using air. But
Yep.
using water, we could do that.
So that would basically be a conversion to a baseboard type system.
Well, what we would do would be to put in, we would be doing that at some point, I guess, if you chose to. But if I put an air handler downstairs, that basically replaces your existing furnace. So it's just a way to move air. I'm going to run my hot water through a coil, and we're going to push air into the building. By doing that, though, because we have boilers, if at some point you decided to do domestic hot water or you needed to do radiation or whatever, at some point your duct work underneath here probably is going to need to be replaced, and that'll be a job, as opposed to running pipes around the space and pipes around that space and getting two separate systems. So,
Okay.
we kind of look forward to it because it's a 30-year investment or so. It's something you're going to put in and not have to worry about for a while. And so we're just looking to, I didn't have a real good number. I kind of got a low end and a high end, but I don't have a real solid number that I could say, here, this is it. This also kind of based on the fact that you would be building some type of a shed room for us, or I would quote that, but it seems to me like you have the ability to do it. And
That would be where the pellet hopper would go, basically?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It'd be like a 10-ton pellet bin,
Yep.
My calculation was you used 1,100 gallons of oil. Actually, for the last 2 years, I'm going to say like 23 and 22, about 1,100 gallons of oil. That turns into about 9 tons of pellets.
Okay.
So you wouldn't even use a full bin, really. On a 10-ton bin, you wouldn't even use the full bin. So no need for an expensive silo or anything. We can just put a bin, put it all inside, keep it dry, it's fine. And then the underground pipes would come to the new furnace down in the basement here, and then you would have heat,
Well, I guess from what I've heard from Ashley, that this is something that we need to put some further discussion on.
Absolutely.
And that, what you are saying, that I guess you're comfortable with the verdict from the various plumbers in terms of the existing system, that it's gonna function at least this year.
And that was all news to me
Yeah.
this week. So,
I was going to say, because we were under the impression and told
it was-
that it's dead and like
was-
you got to
right.
get it replaced.
right.
Which we're
And
hearing
it's
differently.
only 22 years old. It is not an old unit.
No,
So,
22 years is nothing.
It is.
Yeah,
Say it,
No.
the man who's in his 80s.
it's a standard furnace system.
Hot
that's
air
down
furnace.
there.
Yeah.
Hot air furnace is,
Yep.
you'd probably more likely have a bad burner than you'd have anything else. But if you have mechanics that are saying that it's acceptable to use, I would love extra time to present something for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
and
where
find
we're
some
at.
more money and things like that.
And I think, yeah, because I was going to say, from our experience, what Thom and what they're really good at doing is also turning over the stones to see what's out there for funding.
Yeah.
So if the forestry funding's out there and still available, I know Efficiency Vermont reached out today that they were very preliminary starting to talk about numbers. I don't know if the 6 was an updated number or because they reached out today.
So because I
Okay.
reached out to them last week, I got a response yesterday, and then
Okay.
I stalked it. So we've been working together. We just,
Yep.
we're trying to give them enough time.
Yep.
They look at everything from square foot of the building to how much oil you're offsetting,
Yep.
But we've only turned over like 2 rocks at this point.
Yep.
We haven't looked everywhere, so, and we want to, we want to be fair. We want to give you the best deal that we can, and obviously we would love to come back here. I'm delivering pellets all around you, so.
Yep.
Yeah, but I just didn't have any way to give a real solid number. So,
Cost of pellets has gone way up. Now,
yeah, the cost of pellets have gone up. COVID put a hurt on the industry. The company that owns all the mills around here is one company. We are in the process of building a mill in Mill River. No, not Mill River. I always say it wrong, but up in Vermont. to make our own pellets. We make 50,000 tons a year out of that mill, expandable to 100,000 tons, which would get us enough to sell bulk to everybody in the Northeast, so that would drive our costs back down. And economy has a lot to do with it. The price of fuel goes down, my prices will go down.
Yeah.
I don't drive around town and make 15 deliveries in a 2-block area. I got to drive all over the state. So the costs of operation are pretty high.
Well, as my continued thought is that let's bring up some more discussion on this, and we can certainly plug into you for more as we
Please.
get further into it.
Yep, I would love to do that. I feel relief that I don't have to produce something today right away,
Yeah,
because I have been striving over this. So it's
and thank you for coming.
sure, you're very welcome. I'm happy that
Appreciate
you
it.
guys allowed me to, and we'll, I'm sure, talk at some point.
Very
Give you some more
informative.
information.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you,
sir.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Heidi, do you have,
I was just gonna say, while the building is being discussed, can we also talk about real quick the lack of a hot water heater?
Yeah, it's
We're-
not acceptable.
We're gonna look into that and have it for next meeting to be talked about, because we want to do some investigating about what is here, and if it just needs repairing, or I'm gonna crawl down if we have time before I have to run out of here. So I'm gonna crawl
What
downstairs.
are we
and see
using
what's
now,
there.
electric or oil?
No, it would be electric.
Okay.
And I just for the life of me can't remember if there's an electric one down there or not. There's not.
I don't think so.
There's not much down there.
Yeah, I think.
Let me-
But yeah,
Taking
well,
it
we
off
can
the
go down
furnace.
after.
I want to go down and
Yeah.
look.
Okay,
And let's talk about it next meeting.
sounds good.
Thank you.
good luck with that.
I'll crawl down,
It's a big open area. It's not.
but I got another meeting at 7, so we gotta move it along.
Okay. All right. Heidi, do you have anything else?
We had our first budget discussion here this evening, the hour before the select board meeting, and our next budget discussion will be on Monday, the 25th, an hour before the select board meeting, so that will start at 5 p.m.
So I'll volunteer to bring cookies for that one.
All right, everybody's a witness here.
Yep. Only the round ones though.
Do you have anything? Do you have anything that you would like to?
Very briefly, we do have another siding bid that I did get come in for this building. I don't know if that's something that you guys want to look at or discuss. We can table it till next meeting, and possibly hope. I am expecting one more to come in, so that would be our 3 if we want to kind of hold off till the next meeting.
I'd say let's wait till next meeting.
Yeah, but just so you know, we did get another one.
That's good.
And other than that, that's it for me.
All right, George, do you have any concerns?
Well, I do have a list here that shouldn't take more than an hour. Let me get into it. No, I'll pass.
Me too. Rob,
I'm all set tonight.
I'm good.
So moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Night.